Hey everyone, and welcome to day 17 of my horror movie review marathon, and I've got your Arachnophobia movie review. Ah! What is that? Oh my god, get off of me! That's better. A man has a fear of spiders, but what happens when they run amok? So as far as the story goes, Frank Marshall directs this horror film where people are systematically going in anaphylactic shock once they encounter the eight-legged freaks. Now, I know there was a movie called Eight-Legged Freaks, but I'm talking about the other spider movie. Now, I know how Ron Weasley feels. I hate spiders. You can't be safe anywhere. Not in the bath, not in a bed, not while you're eating, which, by the way, I almost gagged watching all that stuff go down, and even putting on articles of clothing. What is up with that? I mean, this one guy who literally has spiders growing in his barn when him and his family moves to this one house. Clearly, he should have taken care of the problem right away. Oh no, it's not a big deal. They're just spiders. They're harmless. All they do is eat flies. No, this spider is going to start eating things bigger than flies, like cats and rats and whatever else it can sink its fangs in. Just saying. As far as the casting goes, you've got Jeff Daniels, who has to face his childhood fear in order to help others. And, I thought he was at least a decent lead. Now, maybe it was just hard to watch at times because for somebody who's supposed to be this hero has to face this one weakness, but sometimes weaknesses can be overcome. For the first time seeing him in a horror movie, I thought he was at least pretty cool. So you've even got John Goodman, who at first I could hardly recognize him, but he kind of reminded me of that one exterminator dude from Men in Black. And let me just say, for the sake of science, not trying to take one of these spiders alive and just gassing them to death, because then the movie would be done a lot faster, but I guess they didn't think that through from the beginning, which is probably what was wrong with the story at first. And everybody else in this movie, you kind of see them all sort of facing this dangerous spider, and I'm thinking, I've seen quite a few movies with spiders in them, even if they weren't the centerpiece of that film. The things that I liked about this movie was that I wouldn't say that spiders are personally my greatest phobias, but they really are freaky to look at, and sometimes they do gross me out, which is probably why I screamed several times watching this movie, depending on what these spiders were doing to some of these people. I mean, it was pretty intense to watch at times, and I was surprised that I was even enjoying watching some of these horrific things going on, because yeah, spiders can be scary because they're bugs, and sometimes they can vary in size, which is exactly what happens in this movie. Unfortunately, the things that I didn't really like about this movie was that there was some silliness to this movie, even though at times there was also some comedy. Not that I necessarily hated the comedy, but there were some silly moments towards the end that made me laugh, and I think it was just a natural reaction for me to laugh at something that just looked really just dumb, but maybe it was stupidly funny. And this movie wasn't completely scary to me, which technically is not a disappointment per se, because even though spiders were really scary in this movie, it's just a lot of it wasn't your typical horror movie, even though arachnophobia is a fear of spiders and people can be quite afraid. And quite frankly, I would not want to, I would have to be more careful with where I'm putting my feet in or what I'm sticking my hand in with food. And, you just have to be careful because you never know, you might meet a spider. So overall, I would say that Arachnophobia was a pretty freaky film, and I think it definitely shows that, yeah, spiders are horrifying, and you don't want to mess with them. So I would recommend seeing this movie, surprisingly, even though there are some things that I found negative about it, and I would give this 3 hearts on the heart rate scale. So let me know in the comments what you guys thought of Arachnophobia, and come back tomorrow for day 18 of my horror movie review marathon. And as always, you guys can subscribe to my channel. I've got more movie reviews, movie updates coming every week for a Child Thursday video. You guys can also like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter, and I will see you guys later.